feel like I'm doing the prom photo, like, or your buddies.
That would be like this. You know?
No, but your buddies just getting married. The married photo, like they're the couple, and you gotta like stand there with your hands.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Chris and Jeff Show. I'm Jeff Zidek. We've got our special guest, Ridge Warren. This is 10 questions for Ridge Warren, but we've actually got
it's 11.
It's 11 questions because the first question is, Ridge, why the didn't you show up last week?
Oh, I didn't know we were gonna swear on this broadcast.
Welcome to Meadows on a beautiful Friday afternoon. This was supposed to be 10 questions for Ridge Warren, but he didn't show up, so now I'm gonna give you a feature race of the day to look at.
So Friday was a Friday. I was up. I was ready to come. Ready to be here, and I was packing my bag because I was going to see my sister in Atlanta. So we'll just push all the blame onto her, or maybe my last minute packing, which got me a little kerfluffled in the morning. Looked down at the clock and it was already 10:30, and I was supposed to be here by 11. So didn't work out. My bad.
First time in a Chris and Jeff show the word kerfuffled has been used. Let's just note that.
Kerfluffled. Put the description on the bottom.
Yeah, we need, Kevin, you can put the definition. There we go. So first question, you got started in racing because of your family. When did you make the decision to do this full time?
Full time, probably right out of high school. I mean, you know, Pops was doing it. I didn't really get involved, like you said, till later on, but like throughout high school, we were at the barn in the mornings, my sister and I, where we were doing things, buckets, things, turning horses out, doing stalls that weren't as much fun. And then once I started actually training with my dad side by side with him, that's kind of when it really like clicked to me, like this is something I really enjoyed. So right out of high school, I moved to Chicago out from Michigan and started training with him.
Now, you've driven competitively in races against your dad. Mm-hmm. How is that, what's the feeling there?
Oh, it's the greatest, especially when I'm going by him. There was last year at Hawthorne, we were nose and nose from the top of the stretch, and I bought the win picture. It's pretty awesome. So anytime I'm going by him or he's going by me, there's something smart being said for sure.
Well, the last couple of years you've bounced back and forth between Chicago and the Meadows. How tough is that?
Last year, well, the first year I did it was COVID, and it actually benefited me because flights were so cheap that I was able to fly back and forth. Last year I drove probably 75% of the time, so that was pretty taxing on me, getting in the car Saturday morning, driving there, or Friday morning driving there, staying the weekend there, then coming back. You know, not very much time for rest, really.
We haven't seen your name in the Hawthorne program yet this year. What are the plans there? Are you just exclusively driving here now?
Yeah, the way that Hawthorne did their meet this year, they went with, it was about a 6-week meet, maybe 8-week meet they did at the beginning of the year. They haven't done that for a long time. So what I didn't want to do was take away from my opportunities here to go there, because ultimately this is where I want to be. So anytime I go somewhere else in the future, I don't want to miss days at the Meadows to go somewhere else. Maybe some Pocono stuff happening in the next month or so, but I don't want to miss days here to go there.
Now, when you first started here at the Meadows, you were only getting 2 to 3 drives a day. How tough was it to have patience to where you could build that up? That's
probably the hardest part of this business in general, is to be patient and know that, you know, if you do well for people and you're respectful and you show up, that you'll get an opportunity. And yeah, it's not easy. And even like you have days where you're busy and days where you're not, and it's hard. It's hard to sit there and be patient and wait your turn.
You kind of partially answered my next question already, but that's what does it take to break into a driving colony at a track like this?
I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's just not easy. You think you deserve to be out there, but you don't really know what gives you the right to be out there, because these people have been here working at this track for months, years, 10 years. They've been here forever, and I'm just the guy coming in. So for me, it's trying to be respectful to the trainers and the owners, trying to pick and choose who I choose in races when I do get an opportunity, for people that have helped me get to where I'm at. So there's a lot of trainers here that have given me opportunities before other people, and I try to stick with them as much as I can.
We've noticed over the last couple of years that you have become a very aggressive driver out of the gate. What does it take to make speed with a horse and get one to go?
Let me give you all my secrets.
How much of it is the driver? How much of it is the horse?
It's both. I mean, you'll have a horse that really has gate speed, and then you got to utilize it. There's a lot of drivers that can, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but there's a lot of drivers that can get a horse to leave that doesn't show gate speed just by having their attention behind the gate and making sure they're prepared when the gate opens. But for me, when I got here, it was more being hesitant or being patient with my drives. And then when I had horses that could leave the gate, was to take the opportunity with those that I knew had a quick turn of foot. So that was it for me.
Now, working with your father over the years, you know, you got to work with his stable. What's it like now? Do you miss that part of it, of working with horses on a day-to-day basis rather than just catch driving?
Yeah, not for me really. You know, like I never really was the type of guy, and the day-to-day stuff at the barn, like that's the hard work that people put in, and I was a part of that for so long, and I still like coming in and training horses like Jan, Fred. You know, they had me train a couple this week, or if somebody asked me to go with one before or after qualifiers. I love doing that stuff, but the day-to-day barn stuff, I mean, it just was never really for me. And I was always, I think for me, because we were always involved in sports at school, so it was like when Dad said, hey, we had to get up and go to the barn at 7 in the morning on Saturday when you just got done playing a football game Friday, I don't know, it just was always like tough to get there. And I don't know, that probably sounds bad.
Well,
AKA Ridge is a prima donna.
Ridge is a prima donna. Okay.
I don't like this. If somebody needs me to come train a horse, just let me know.
Now he's trying to cover his tracks.
Yeah, backing up.
Well, you mentioned Pocono and a possibility of going up there once in a while. Well,
Yeah.
What is kind of the future? What are your future plans as far as, it sounds like you're going to mostly be based out of here, at least for the long term, or for the short term, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're going to stay here. My girlfriend and I, we got a place in Waynesburg right now. So we kind of moved out here together, and her career's kind of taken off, and mine's, you know, working its way that direction. So we want to be based out of here. If I travel, it'll be on days that we're not racing here, but I like to be home at an evening for dinner and stuff that I cook.
That would be a whole other series of 10 questions. Ridge Warren, we love the sweatshirt. That's a classic one there.
Yeah.
So enjoy your time here at the Meadows. Glad to have you with us today. Glad you showed up for a change. And that's going to wrap things up for this week's edition of the Chris and Jeff Show.
Awesome.
You got your questions?
Do you need a whip in your hand? Would that help?
No.
Oh.